in the each of those categories. So it means, for example, same subject got the same adverse event multiple times, then we can count only once. For example, 101 subject got the adverse event, headache adverse event 3 times during the study. But we will count only once that event. Why? Because that is the subject, same event. Okay. So this is the representation of your adverse events. Subject with events, the more than one category are counted once in the each those event. Okay, the same subject will get the different events. For example, one is the gastrointestinal disorder, one is that another, like, okay, so general infection diseases. So the same subject but the two different adverse events, then we will count the twice in the two different categories. Okay, so that's what they mention in the footnotes. Okay. So the likewise will continue. I mean, here if you can see the adverse events by the SOC by PT means system organ class by preferred term means, okay, like cardiovascular disease. So out of this, how many subjects got that cardiovascular adverse event? In that, what are the cardiovascular diseases? So that will represent. So this is a nausea subjectivity. That will be how many what we can say, how many SO system organ classes, everything we need to represent. Okay. So likewise, each and every table will have the detailed things, and then we have to represent the particular things. Is it clear? If you have any question on the tables? Is that clear? Okay. So coming to this, okay, you should have one doubt by this time. So how do we know that for this particular categories and the particular headers, which variables we have to consider? So for that, okay, some of the companies or some of the teams will do the annotation for the TLF shells. Okay, they'll mention adjacent to these headers and these fields, they'll mention which variable we need to use it. Okay, so for example, some of the companies will not do the annotations, but still when we understand the tables, and then we can easily identify the variable names. It's up to particular sponsor and all the requirements. Okay, but we should prepare with the both, with annotation. With annotation, it's obviously easy, right? Because you know the all the variables in front of here. But if you don't have the annotation, also it's not that much tricky. You can use that and then do the things. And then we'll see listing shells. Okay, so the listing is also similar. Okay, like you will have all the listings here. If you can open the listings is very simple. Okay, we need to represent the data. How we have the data, that we have to represent the same thing. Why? Because the listing means for the cross check the TLF counts, how the counts are represented, whether it is correct or not. So that purpose we are going to create the listing. So for example, if you can see the study termination listing. So what we need to, the subject number, we have to represent the subject number here, and then subject completed or not. Okay, so whether subject to study completed, yes or no, that we have to represent here. The date and time of the study exists. Okay, if it's no, I mean, for example, if the study is completed and when he has completed the study, DSST DTC, there here. Date and time of the last study, drug administration. Okay, what is the last dose of drug administration? RF, XE, and DTC. So the Adam level also will have that particular, and then you can represent reason for the discontinuation. For the subject is discontinued, what is the reason? That we have to represent here. Here, if you can see that this is easy. So we can take the particular data set, what all are the variables we require, that only we will keep it, and if there are any filter condition we should apply, we should apply that filter condition. The data we will, by using the proc report, we will create this listings. Okay. So if you can see, go for here the protocol deviation. So that's also the subject, which are the subjects we have the protocol deviation. So we need to represent the study name, subject number, which is nothing but U subject ID, the treatment, which treatment they have randomized, and the study day, what is the study day of the deviation, and then what is the deviation date, and then what is the deviation. So the deviation represent description should provide here. Okay. So just keep the variables and then rewrite the proc report. This is the demographic listing. So the subject number and the subject initials is nothing but the same thing, and the screening visit date, and then date of birth and age, and then sex and race and ethnicity. That's it. Okay. So it should be represented like this. If you go and check each and every listings, like will be this like adverse events, and then if you can see this is vital signs, and then this is informed consent and eligibility criteria listing. And here also same thing what we can apply this, here this is the table of the list, title of the listing, and then this is the headers, and then this is the footer footnotes. Okay, so if you can see this here, the page numbers will come, the table page numbers, here the sponsor information we should provide. Okay, so here is the medical history listing, and then the serology screening results, study specific listing, pregnancy test results. Okay, you can see the subject number and the study day and the sample date when the pregnancy sample collected, and then sample time, and then results. Okay, result will be positive or negative pregnancy test. So if you can see the urine alcohol, and then drug screening results. Okay, so the subject and study day, sample, and then sample time, ethanol. Okay, so whether subject drink the alcohol, and then what is the percentage of ethanol. Okay, so ethanol whether they think, so pet meth, and then barbiturates. So there are few chemical compounds things, so they want to represent the study specifically. Okay, and based on that we can represent the data. Okay, so the listings are very easy. You have to take the data set, you have to keep the whatever the variables, and then you have to apply the filter, and then go for the PROC report. Okay, sometimes we might concatenate the more than one variable. So for example, if you are there, they mention like, okay, subject, age and sex, they want to put it in one variable, then we will concatenate those to represent. Okay, so that's it for the listings part. Okay, is that clear? You have any questions? I think we don't have any figures in this study. Okay, so the figures are depend on the study specific. Few studies will have the figures, and few studies will not have. Okay, so that's it for the tables and listing shells. Is there any questions so far?
Yes, tables listings will be in the same format as you just showed, right? So will that be like in Word only?
Yeah, Word only, but sometimes the sponsor required the PDF, and then we can convert to the PDF also.
So when you say when we use proc means for certain values, so in SAS we will have to do that and then copy those values here.
No. We should not copy that. If you can do the proc means, then it will give the output data set. By using that, you have to do the as per the process, and then the final data sets and everything. You have to write the proc report. You don't know the proc report?
Oh, okay, sir. Using proc report. Got it.
Yeah. Is there any other questions from anyone?
बात करने का चालू करो
कॉलेज में ऐसा का नंबर होगा नागराजन को मिला बात कर लेते बैठो
नंबर नहीं है नंबर बोल
पैसे देते बोले तो सोना देते
సో ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ పార్ట్ ఉంటుంది కదా ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ పార్ట్ అయ్యాక
अकाउंट बताऊं पैसे पूरे डाल
Yeah, I mean program report is nothing but we should write the program, and then the proc report also will comes under programming part only, right? Yes.
సో మీరు శాంపుల్స్ చెప్తారు కదా కొన్ని
Yeah. I mean, without explaining the programming, how you do understand, I'll create the tables and show you.
yeah.
Tomorrow we'll start with like a demographic table. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay then. So if you no questions, okay, we can close the class.